Okay, I got this amazing article. It's from TheMighty.com. I will put a link below. Very cool. I'm just assuming that Google or someone spied on me and watched what I read. Anyway, it was recommended and I don't mind. I'm happy. Thank you, Google. So this is essentially like taboo thoughts that people have when they have chronic illnesses. And it is a different, I guess, culture or way of living, or it's like a new life, right? It is a reality. It's not always so depressing and poop, 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 although it can be, right? But it's just, it's an adjustment too. So you're gonna have to accept good and bad days. I find myself sometimes in this weird adjustment lately. I'll be honest, I have been going through some major stuff with it, but I'm trying to adjust because it is the new now, right? So I don't relate with everything, but I'm sure other people do. So I'll quickly go over a couple and just put some input. One was, I feel guilty whenever I feel like I'm enjoying myself. So it's essentially they're saying they're chronically ill and people can't handle watching them actually be happy and relaxed and not feel crappy that day. And you know, it is strange because I do find days that I'm feeling better, suddenly all the stuff from the day when I wasn't feeling so good is piled on me, and it's like, oh my God, now I have all this other stuff to do, and you're barely just kind of climbing up again. It kind of sucks, but I think with this, I'm learning different boundaries. I generally like to do things head on, all of that. Now I'm having to relearn all that, have different boundaries. When I have good days, enjoy them and defend them and say, you know what, this is a good day. I am going to enjoy it. And when I don't feel good, that's that day. But today is my day. I don't know. It's a new boundary that we have to learn. Another one was, I worry nobody will love me because I'm sick. I feel extremely loved. I do. But there are times when I don't even like to hear what I have to say. Honestly, I don't want to hear people be sick all day. I just don't. I don't know anyone who's like, oh, cool, you're sick. Tell me all the dirt about it. You know, I don't want to hear about sickness all day. And I feel somewhat guilty because I tell my husband, oh my God, I got another bruise or this or that. You know what? He goes to work all day. He comes home, and whether or not I've had a good day or not, I don't know. And he has to come home to his son being wild and fun. I mean, he's cool, but like, you know, a lot of energy. My husband's been working all day. He comes home, and then I may or may not be feeling good. And then he has to hear a whole slew of crap how I feel. It's a little taxing. And so I am trying to keep that in check in a sense, but be healthy for me and share. So it's funny, but I'm kind of devising a plan with my sister because I need to have my freedom and boundaries, but this can't rule my life. So I want to acknowledge how I feel. And I was going to say, I'm going to save it for Wednesdays. Wednesdays I'm going to complain, and then every other day I'm not. But you can't decide, hey, I will be sick only on Wednesdays. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. So what I'm doing is, her idea was have like 2 hours a day where you just write how you feel and get things out and, you know, function as best as you can. I don't know if I have 2 hours, quite frankly. I don't. But I don't mind 15, 20 minutes a day. And then the rest is like other time. Because I'm really trying to find a boundary with my sickness and my life. And it's included because it has to be. But it's kind of like, I don't know, someone you took on vacation, you don't really want to, but you don't want to have a crappy time either. So it's like that. It's like the crappy cousin or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to find some boundaries because I know my husband loves me. I love him. But I try and put myself in his spot. And I don't think coming home to hearing how crappy someone feels all the time makes him feel very good. So I feel loved, but not loved. But I do feel loved. You know. this one, it was wonderful. It says, I think about how I dread going to the doctor. God, you can't speak more to my heart. I hope I have enough symptoms to have them believe me and take me seriously, but I don't want enough symptoms and hurt going on to warrant a crash. It's complicated. I also am scared to death of my fiance getting it one day. I am paranoid of my future children getting it too. I'm scared to have children. Okay. This person touched on a few things. Yes, I feel like a lot of times, I like a lot of my doctors because I have a few, but some I definitely feel like you are a cash cow because you're stuck being sick forever and they know it. And they're like, pa-boom, okay, we look at your test, tell you everything you could already figure out on your own, zap, zap, check it off, get out. But they make sure that they get that cash. And I know that's kind of brutal to say because I have some amazing doctors, but I'm saying how this person feels, I understand that feeling too, because I have gotten that where you're just like, God, like I'm a person too, and I would rather not be sick all day. I'd rather go out and do something. So can you be a little more decent? And if you're just gonna read the tests, give me the equipment, let me do it at home. I'll take my blood, I'll look at the numbers, I'll do whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm capable too, if that's all we're doing. So I don't know, it's kind of a mishmash, but yes, you know, you are legit. You want them to validate and not invalidate. I find invalidation, oh God, reprehensible. It totally happens a lot. And I think a lot of it with a chronic illness or anything that's not common is, I guess I'm going to say it, due to their lack of knowledge. So they can only go by numbers or what they have been recently told. And so due to their lack of knowledge, they're not going to go in depths with you because why should they? You know what I mean? If you don't have it, you don't have it. Anyway, so anyway, I get that. It's a weird line there. And I don't want any more symptoms straight out. I'm sick of it all. I wish it would go away. I don't even have the enough symptoms thing. All I want is for them to legit actually do something about it. Also, I am scared to death of anything happening to anyone else, and I can't even go there because that's how freaked out. I just can't. I can't even say it. Just can't. Beyond freaked out about that. I am, and another one says, I get scared for the future trying to picture dealing with this when I'm older and or alone. So I'm relatively young for PV diagnosis, and one doctor so kindly put it, you're so young, you're definitely going to get worse and experience more complications because you're younger and you've got more time. I wasn't really happy when I heard that, but I don't know, maybe his logic is sound. I don't know. I think there's other contributing factors. I do find it bothersome that I have so many symptoms at this age, and not that I want anyone to feel it, but I would rather have this crap when I'm like 75, because then I would have seen my son go through high school and college and all those things. That's where it really gets me, is I'd rather be functional and like a cool mom, you know what I mean? I want to be like the mom that goes to the school and, I don't know, gives lunches or whatever they do, but I want to be that mom. I don't want to be the sick mom. So yeah, so I do worry about the future. I do worry about it, and one reason I am always kind of in a push is I know the difference of how I was a year ago or 2 years ago, and I see a vast difference. Maybe I don't have the same things. Maybe I don't have such like shrilling, I guess, headaches, but maybe my body's weaker, or I don't have any energy that I had last year. And so I see the changes, and so now I try and keep it in my mind like, hey, there's no guarantee next year how I'm gonna feel. So I guess another motto is do what you can while you can, when you can, how you can, and with what you can. And it's huge. I really try and push myself now because I can't guarantee how I'm gonna feel God, tomorrow or in an hour at this point. So it's huge. I do try and take advantage of here and now and try and look out for future me. That's what keeps me going. One person said they wonder if it's payback for all the things they've done in life for being punished. I don't feel that way. As weird as it is, I don't necessarily believe in karma, which I guess, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I think there's good things and there's bad things. I think there's a lot of good things that have happened to some really bad people. And a lot of bad things have happened to really good people. And it's a personal judgment, good and bad, right? But I can't say that. I don't think that you're punished. I just don't. I don't. I think there's I mean, you can't explain things that happen to people that are so horrendous and say anything was ever justified. I just can't. I can understand the part of karma where it's more of a spiritual thing of, you know, try and bring in some good and whatever. And yeah, you try and bring in that energy and positivity, and I do love that. I just don't think that, anyway, I just don't think that we ever warrant not feeling good. I mean, because if this were the case, why aren't more serial killers getting horrible diseases? You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. No, thank you. Not my thing. Anyway, this one says that they feel like a burden. I totally feel that way. I feel like I work my guts out to do the best I can for my family. And my husband is amazing. He does all the sciencey research for me, which I don't really totally get into. And he's really good to me. And I have my sisters always keep track of all my stuff. And I'm really blessed with a lot of love and support. But I would rather, I don't know, I find it a burden. It's a pain, and I'd rather be talking about anything like something superficial. I don't know, maybe if I got into some crappy TV show or something, that would be a lot better. But I do find it as a burden for me, and I do find it a burden to others. Me and my husband used to go hiking all the time. We'd have fun, go out in nature. I'd have these long talks with him about the universe and all these random things, and he'd be like, and I miss that. I miss his look of shock. Let's see. Sometimes I think my family would be better off without me because of all the hassle and the cost that comes with me and my many health issues. There's so many aspects with this. The cost is disgusting. To weigh the costs, when I have to get a test, every time I go to the doctor, it is so expensive. Just the doctor visit, the blood things, all that, each time is expensive. Then if I need anything bigger, even a ton more money. And I don't have a job. I probably shouldn't be working outside the house right now, but so it is a burden, and it is expensive to be sick. It is expensive, even with good insurance. It's sick, and I do feel like that's a burden. That could be money on family trips, making more memories, fun things, but instead they're making me better. It's a catch-22. Here I am, but we're spending it all on me just functioning, versus we could have gone out. I don't know. I don't think it's I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. I think it's very expensive. I wish there was something better for all of us. And I'm fortunate with my husband making money, but I couldn't imagine otherwise. And if I weren't married to my husband, I would be homeless or in some really bad trouble. Totally honest. I don't know. It scares me. Do I feel like they'd be better off without me? Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love my husband and I love my son and everyone else, mind you, but I'm talking about immediate family. I love them. I don't even know how to explain it so much. And I know there's a love only I could give them, but I believe that there's a lot of love to be given in the world. And sometimes I think if I just take care of everything for him right here and now, get the yard ready so it's no hassle, get the house done, if I pass, then my husband can remarry, they could be happy. I am not a person who believes that I am the only one who can make people happy. And I don't believe, how do I explain it? I don't believe that if I am not here that they cannot enjoy their lives. I want more than anything for them to be happy, and I don't think it matters if I am here or not to experience that happiness. I truly want their hearts to be happy. I want to be there for them as extremely long as possible, and I want to love them and care for them and do everything I can. I don't like being a burden. I'm scared to death of a stroke or anything like that because I don't want to be hard on them. I don't know. It's a huge fear I have, is to make life worse for them. And I agree with this person. I don't want to go and kill myself or anything. Don't think I didn't want to though. When I had postpartum, oh my God, I was a mess. That was horrifyingly awful. That's a whole other thing. And you know, all those things, they're just rough. I think they're great with me right now, me and my husband and my son. I think if I do pass on in the future, I still want them to be happy. So, I don't know. But yes, I do feel like the money thing is ginormously sick. Like, a side note on that, oh, not even gonna go there. Anyway, actually a lot of people are talking about suicide on this. I'm not going there, but I can understand. Like, I totally get that. They're like, why keep going on, you know? Apparently someone else is wishing here that someone else was sick instead of them. I don't necessarily, even people I don't really like, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head I don't really like. Just because they're not for me doesn't mean they're not okay for someone else, like friends or whatever. But I don't think, I'm not wishing those things. Anyway, wow, okay, so anyway, there's a lot of things that people are talking about on here. I'm going to save the link. Someone's really frustrated because they can do 10% of the things they used to do. Holy crap, we are in like the same church, listening to the same sermon, and like we're in that choir. Because I'm seriously like very extreme frustrated, I think, out of all things. There's a lot of nice things, and it's good to see people actually talking about how they feel. I was going to mention some more. I think sometimes we get embarrassed or we feel weak because we have something, our bodies are doing whatever they're doing because they've gone all wonky on us. I think it can be like, you know, where we're like, oh, I'm a weak person, I'm embarrassed, or, you know, whatever. I went through that big time. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm not dead. I'm not going to die tomorrow. I'm just dealing with some stuff, you know, and it took time to actually get there. No need for being embarrassed. Just say, hey, this is what I have, and I'm functioning and I'm going, right? It may not be something as visible, but if I were in a wheelchair, I think that people would already have that assumption. So, I mean, they're dealing with something every day that people are seeing, and they've had to overcome that. I'm saying this because my aunt was in a wheelchair, and I know it must have been kind of hard for her, but then we were all kind of used to her being in it, and we were cool with it, but other people would kind of look at you, you know, and you're like, huh, interesting. Now, I was young when she was in a wheelchair, and I know there was a different look, and I think that's kind of the fear that people have with a chronic illness that's not as visible as something like that. But in reality, once you put it out there and you are who you are, I think just life flows a lot better. What was another one? I was going to talk about, things that make me sad. So sometimes a taboo thing is, I always talk about how much I love my husband and son because they're awesome. But there are things I can't do. I can't go to all those little kid places. I get sick as a dog. We went to this kids museum thing, and as cool as it was, I went home, I was like sick for days and days and days. I can't hack all those germs. And so my husband, who is amazing, he takes him. And he goes to all these things, and he has to be kind of like a single dad. Goes to the park, takes him there, but God, he's amazing. He goes there, he goes and plays all these places that I can't go. And there are times I just look at them and my heart breaks and I want to go so bad. I mean, you think that I don't want to be the one pushing him down the slide or doing this and that, you know, I mean, there's a lot I want to do. And that is hard for me, is not being able to be that energetic, fun, cool one. On a side note, I've been watching this really cool African dancing. I do silly things when I'm chilling. I think they're freaking awesome and talented. So I watch African dancing. Anyway, a lot of cool types. That's a whole other thing. So I want my son to learn African dancing because it is very cool, right? The problem is I get dizzy when I'm jumping and doing anything, you know? So I want him to learn, but I don't want him to watch TV. So I'm like in a conundrum. So as silly as that is, like, there's things I want to be involved in, which I simply can't because of how I feel physically. Now, maybe later he'll be really cool and he'll be in some African dancing. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, these are some of my thoughts. I thought it was brilliant for, what was that, TheMighty.com, to have this where people could say how they feel. And taboo, I didn't even think of it as taboo thoughts. I just, you know, we're human, but we are being judged and we feel that, and it's real. So anyway, it was beautiful. I think there's a lot more on there that you'll want to read if you want. I'll put the link below. I find that fascinating. Anyway, if you have any other taboo thoughts, you can leave them in comments or whatever. I don't know, maybe we can all get through this taboo-ness together.